and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It always sounds better with a full house.
It does. It's nice to see everybody. The men and women in uniform, you look good tonight. And now I can understand why you win the chili cook-off every year. You show up and support. So the first item on our agenda is public comment. If you're here to make a comment on anything going on in the community, you're welcome to come up to the podium to my right and your left. And we ask you to state at 3 minutes, if you would, please. Yes, ma'am. If you'd like to come up, either one, please. Yes.
Francis Martins. I just want to compliment Bloomfield Township staff. I know everybody always complains, nobody ever compliments. Your people are marvelous. And I especially want to thank Marco, because if I'm aging in place in Bloomfield Township, I need certain things, just as other senior citizens do. And I find Bloomfield Township has just been great, especially Marco. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Angela Edwards. I'm playing off of something she just said. I've been a senior for 24 years. As a nurse assistant for 24 years, I work at Township Health Rehabilitation on Big Bibby Road in North Adams, caring for the older people in the community. I became a senior when my daughter was 3 months. I have been working as a senior my whole life. It's more like a job. It's not more like a job. It's more like a calling. I love doing it. I'm sorry, I'm just a little nervous. Not used to talking in front of people. It's kind of a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
Got me a little shook. Okay. Let me find my place. I've been caring for people my whole life. It's not just a job. It's like a calling to me. I'm the head of my household. I take care of my granddaughter, my brother with stage 4 liver cancer, and my autistic grandson. Since our toddler took over this summer, the staffing levels have become low, and the seniors often have to care for maybe 13 to 14 residents apiece, who often need 2 people to do the work, 2 people to do the job. They need help. With the feeding, lifting, bathing, and when staffing drops so low, no amount of dedication can make up for the lack of hands that you have on the floor. And it puts the residents and the workers in a very impossible situation that I feel is very dangerous. You know, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm coming to speak to y'all today. I raised concerns about being afraid for my residents and the harm that it costs to be low staff for our residents that's being taken care of. When there's not enough staff to meet the needs or when we speaking up, I was terminated. Yes, I was terminated. I'm not here for no revenge. I'm here because I actually love my residents. I go out and buy them things. If they want peanut butter with their jelly on their toast, I go buy peanut butter for them and put it in their room. As long as I make sure they can have it. I ask and I'm concerned. So, and I'm just raising concerns because when I raised concerns to the nursing home, I was let go. So I've been doing this for 20 years, so I'll be okay. I can find a job pretty soon. But I'm here for y'all. Maybe y'all can speak to them. Maybe y'all can help the employees there, the patients there. You know, I couldn't do it, but I spoke to many people I can. I went to the union about it, and they set me up here. So maybe because y'all can hold them responsible, they're in y'all community. This is in the Wayne County community. Not Wayne County.
Mrs. Edwards, you're past the 3 minutes, so could I ask you to maybe wrap it up, please?
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No worries.
And I thank y'all for listening to me today. And I'm hoping and praying that y'all do actually look into this and actually try to make sure that the elderly in this community is being taken care of properly. by these companies. They need to be held responsible for putting our patients and our residents in danger.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards. Thank you. If there's no further comment, we'll close. Yes, ma'am, you come right up to the podium, please.
Hello, I live in Bloomfield Township. I live at 346 Wadsworth Lane.
And your name, please?
Do I have to give it?
Well, we do ask for your name and your address, if
My full name?
what you're comfortable with.
Margaret.
That's fine. Thank you.
During my divorce, I called the police twice. I was being threatened to be thrown out of my home. I'd already been thrown out of my bedroom, my bathroom, my clothes were taken out of my closet, personal items were taken out of the house. I finally broke down and I called the police. Your policemen are very polite. This is nothing against them. This is about their training. They need training in corrosive control, covert aggressive behavior. They also need to understand that when a person is upset and crying and emotional, and the other person is standing there chill as a cucumber, something is really wrong. My ex was chill as a cucumber when those police came. Looked at them and said, I don't know what a problem is. I was told that divorce was just difficult. It'll be over soon. Just bear with it. That didn't stop the threats. That didn't stop me being afraid. And it hasn't stopped the nightmares 4 years later. The other big thing is that, from what I understand, Bloomfield Township has hired a social worker that also works with Royal Oak and Troy. We've had 2 of them. Not once was I given her number, even the second time when I called. Not once did the police officers call her and say, hey, you might need to check up on this person in this situation. You might want to investigate the house. And I didn't know there would be police officers here. And I'm not trying to put y'all down. I'm trying to make y'all realize you need to listen to the people who call. And when I got the police report, it didn't say anything about how he had threatened me. It didn't say anything about the second time when he was taking items out of the house and uninforming me, and I caught him. This month is Domestic Violence Month. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. I would also hope to make everybody aware domestic violence in Michigan, the law states that it's not just someone hitting a person, it's someone living in fear. Their situation being controlled. And that can be done just with words, not with cussing, not with screaming. I watched the video. I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now.
Margaret, can you give me your address one more time? I know you.
346 Wadsworth Lane. And I'm sorry, I don't want to give you my last name because if
It's okay. It's okay. But if you could just take maybe the next 30 seconds and complete your statement, because this is very emotional and it's heartbreaking to hear it. But we want to keep a time limit. I'd like to give you more time, but
Timer's not on.
yeah, I noticed that, but I'm kind of watching it myself. But if maybe take the next 30 seconds and you're right, it is Domestic Violence Month and you're hitting things, and we do have social workers that we contract with. And if we didn't get them to you, I'm going to make that correction for you.
Thank you. I would also like for you to extend the education to police officers to understand corrosive control and covert aggressive behavior. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Margaret. Okay, any other, yes, sir.
I'll be really brief. I just wanted to
Name
ask-
and address, please.
My name's Kevin McNell. I live in Oak Park, but I work with the lady, Tomdella, the first speaker, and she was a little nervous and she couldn't get through her entire speech. And I just wanted to let you guys know the context of what's happening. This nursing home, it was bought up by Optalis that's in your community. They threatened to lay off the entire staff that we represent unless they accept massive $10 wage cuts. And they've claimed that they can still take care of the residents, even if they fire the entire staff. They haven't told us how, but we want you to be aware because these are people that live in your community. They're your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles. And I think this is like a real threat to what's going on. So I really appreciate it. I just wanted to.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Sid Bush. I'm a nurse at Henry Ford Genesis in Grand Blanc. I'm actually up here to applaud the Bloomfield Township Fire Department. Approximately 3 weeks ago, a Mormon church had a massive shooting. We are currently in strike up there. That shooting was about a half a mile from where we were also on North Valley Road. To my knowledge, it took 5 people's lives and injured many others. Our nurses actually were able to help in that situation. But on that day, the Bloomfield Township Fire Department sent a truck all the way up to Grand Blanc to assist, and they were huge in helping put out that fire. I have spoken to many Grand Blanc fire firefighters, and they have nothing but praise for Bloomfield Township for what they did. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Sid. We appreciate that. Any further public comment? If not, we'll close public comment and move to item number 2, consider the consent agenda. I'll look for a motion to approve or any comments.
I'd like to remove a few items, payroll and vouchers, the quarterly report, and the millage approval. So C, D, and E.
Okay, and if there's a motion to approve?
So
I'd like
moved.
to make a motion to approve items A and B in the consent agenda.
Okay, and then we'll move C, in their support, but we'll move C, B, and D to address after our closed session. And so if there's support, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So it passes 7-0. Okay, item number 3, the Fire Department Awards Promotion and Oath of Office presented by our Chief, John LeRoy. Welcome, John.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. Thank you, everybody, for attending tonight. Tonight's a very special night for the fire department. It's our annual awards, and then we have quite a few people to swear in for both promotional positions and also new firefighters that have passed their probation. If I could have, we'll start out, we're going to do it in 3 groups tonight. We'll start out with the battalion chiefs and the fire marshal in the first group, followed by the lieutenants, followed by the firefighters. No, you can look at the crowd. I see enough of you. These 3 gentlemen, starting from left to right, is Battalion Chief Benjamin Bradford. In the middle is Fire Marshal Joseph Syracuse. And on the far right is Battalion Chief Kevin Bailey. All 3 of these officers have become senior officers in our organization over the years, holding many different roles throughout their tenure, from lieutenants to lieutenant inspectors. They've done everything that's ever been asked from them. They've studied hard, and they are the people that make the decisions for the benefit of the department and the community. All 3 of these individuals have attended the Eastern Michigan University School of Staff and Command, which is a 9-month program. All have completed successfully. Ben Bradford has a master's degree from Arizona State in leadership. So all of these individuals have gone above and beyond for the fire department and to reach the positions that they have attained. If I could please have Clerk Brooke administer their oath.
I, Mr. Bradford,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
and I will support the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and I will support the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and I will faithfully discharge my duties as
and I will faithfully discharge my duties as fire lieutenant
for the Charter Township of Bloomfield
for the Charter Township of Bloomfield
Fire Department to the best of my ability.
Fire Department to the best of my ability.
If I could please have retired firefighter Larry Bradford come up to pin his son's badge on. If I could have Battalion Chief Kevin Bailey's son Kyle please come up to pin his father's badge on. Fire Marshal Syracuse's son, Brett, was supposed to be here tonight. He's out on a call. He's also a firefighter in Bloomfield Township. So if I could please have, is he here? Okay. If I could please have Fire Marshal Syracuse's wife, Jill, please come up. And you trust the assistant chief? Congratulations. Congratulations, you three. If I could please have Lieutenant Dan Trudeau, Lieutenant Jacob Pache, Lieutenant Fire Inspector Christian Bertucci, and Lieutenant Fire Inspector Michelle Martin, please come up. These four individuals have worked extremely hard and exemplify what it takes to become an officer in the Bloomfield Township Fire Department. They have all studied very hard, completed every task, and done multiple things across the entire many divisions and tasks of the fire department over their entire careers. Michelle and Christian most recently have both become fire inspectors, one, and I believe currently one has a test tomorrow and one has a test next week to become plans examiner and fire inspectors too, which is a very difficult test. So these four individuals have done the department very proud, and I am proud to introduce them as officers in this organization. If I could please have Lieutenant Dan, oh, go ahead, Martin.
Swear it
Yep,
in.
yeah, swear them in, thank you.
I've done this a lot, but I still have a piece of paper. So raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
and I will support the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and I will support the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
as
Lieutenant Fire Inspector
for the Charter Township of Bloomfield Fire Department
for the Charter Township of Bloomfield Fire Department
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
If I could please have Lieutenant Dan Trudeau's father, Dan, come up here and pin his badge on. If I could please have Lieutenant Jake Pichet's wife, Marita, come up and pin his badge on. If I could please have Lieutenant Inspector Christian Bertucci's wife, Michaela, come up. And Lieutenant Inspector Michelle Martin's husband, Josh, please come up. Thank you very much. Congratulations. If I could have firefighter Riley Finnegan, firefighter Cole Heidenberg, firefighter Andrew Bush, and firefighter Zach Keene, please come up. Oh, one didn't make it? Or is he on a call? One's on a call. All right. These three, hopefully four before the end of the night's over, have all come from very diverse and different backgrounds. Riley is from St. Clair, Michigan. His dad was a firefighter in Port Huron. He's currently in paramedic school and doing an outstanding job. Cole, who's not here, he's from Bloomfield Township. Went to high school here, started as an intern as part of their internship program, and then became a fire technician as part of the Bloomfield Township Fire Department, taking care of the fire hydrants and doing any tasks around the department. He has since become a full-time firefighter and most recently just passed his paramedic program. Andrew comes from Highland Township. He also started as a fire tech. And he too recently passed his paramedic program on his very first attempt. Very, very proud of all of them who have done that. Each and every one of the probationary firefighters from this group and the previous group have all passed their paramedic without any issues, which is a very difficult test. Zach comes from Utica, went to Northern Michigan University where he played football, got his bachelor's degree, and we're trying something new with him. He's in a full-time paramedic program in Macomb Community College, so he goes to school 40 hours a week for paramedic, but he gets it done in half the amount of time. So all three of these individuals have either completed or are well into their probationary period. If I could please have Clerk Brooke administer their oaths.
Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America. And I'll support the Constitution of the State of Michigan. And I'll faithfully discharge my duties as for the Charter Township of Bloomfield Fire Department. Best of my ability.
There you go. Thank you very much, Martin. If I could please have Riley Finnegan's father, Jeff, come up and pin his badge. If I could please have Andrew Bush's fiancee, Tanny, come up and pin his badge. If I could please have Zachary Keene's father, Scott, please come up and pin his badge. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now it's time for the fun part of the night where we introduce the people that have earned awards for representing the department and everything that they do in their job over the course of the year. It's a very proud night for the men and women of the Bloomfield Township Fire Department that they get recognized for everything that they've done and always do. They always don't tell us everything and what makes it back to me, but we take care of looking and awarding them when we find out what they've done. If I could please have firefighters, paramedic Scott Edgman, firefighter paramedic Ian Griffith, firefighter paramedic Travis Smith, and firefighter paramedic Madison Van Heck please come up. Unit 2 crews responded to the reports of a cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, the crew found their patient in pulseless ventricular tachycardia. They immediately began CPR, defibrillated the patient, and gave advanced cardiac medications. The patient regained consciousness, pulses, and respirations, and was transported to the hospital where they made a full recovery. For their actions, this crew will receive the Life-Saving Award. Thank you very much. Nicely done. If I could please have Lieutenant Ed Leitz, firefighter paramedic Ian Griffith, firefighter paramedic Corey Van Heck, firefighter paramedic Jeff Nancaro, firefighter paramedic Alec Ree, firefighter paramedic Cole Heidenberg, firefighter paramedic Joe Evangelista, firefighter paramedic Cody Landry, firefighter paramedic Ryan Swatala, firefighter paramedic Alec Fowler, and firefighter paramedic Cade Dalwitz please come up. The above personnel were involved in a very difficult vehicle extrication involving a U-Haul truck and a semi-truck that had struck at high speeds. This extrication involved a great deal of teamwork, knowledge, and patience. Because of this crew's actions, hard work, the patient's chance of survival were greatly increased. For their actions, these individuals will receive the unit commendation. Thank you very much. Very nicely done. Firefighter Cole Heidenberg has returned from an earlier EMS incident, so we will swear him in. Clerk Martin Brook will give the oath.
I, Cole Heidenberg,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
and I will support the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and I will support the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
as firefighter paramedic
as firefighter paramedic
for the Charter Township of Bloomfield Fire Department
for the Charter Township Bloomfield Fire Department
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
If I could please have Cole's father, Kurt, come up and put his badge on. Congratulations. You can stay. Nope, you're good. Yep. I could please have Lieutenant Rob Nichols, firefighter paramedic Matt Zito, firefighter paramedic Michael Best, and firefighter paramedic Brett Syracuse please come up. Oh, Brett's still not back. Crews were dispatched to an elderly patient choking on food. Upon arrival, crews began the Heimlich maneuver and on the patient without success. The patient then went unconscious, and crews lowered the patient to the floor and began removing food from the airway with forceps and suction. The patient regained consciousness, began breathing, and was transported to the hospital. For their actions, this crew received the Life-Saving Award. If I could please have Lieutenant Jake Pache, firefighter paramedic Jeremy Koziel, firefighter paramedic Jason Grunwald, and firefighter paramedic Chu Yang please come up. During a snowstorm, this crew from Unit 1 helped deliver a baby in the backseat of a vehicle while on the side of the road. Mom and baby required minor medical attention after the delivery, and both were transported to the hospital without incident. A few days later, they were both discharged. These individuals were received the Distinguished Unit Commendation. If I could please have Lieutenant Leonard Wineski, Lieutenant Inspector Christian Bertucci, firefighter paramedic Andrew Altman, firefighter paramedic Katie Guckian, firefighter paramedic Jason Grunwald, and firefighter paramedic Chu Yang. Unit 1 crews were called for a woman in labor. Upon arrival, the patient was indeed in labor and was moved to the stretcher. A short time later, the baby was delivered and mom and baby were transported to the hospital without incident. And normally, births for the fire department are very rare, and these happened in a very short period of time, like within a week that these incidents occurred. These individuals will receive the Distinguished Unit Commendation. Nicely done. Thank you. If I could please have Lieutenant Michael Pucci come up, please. He's already giving me a look. Huh? Oh, I know. While driving his personal vehicle, Lieutenant Pucci witnessed a motorcycle crash that resulted in the driver being trapped under a burning motorcycle and unable to extricate himself. Lieutenant Pucci ran towards the scene in flip-flops. We've seen the video from his Tesla. And with the assistance of another individual, freed the driver. Without Lieutenant Pucci's direct assistance, the driver's injuries would have been significantly worse. For his actions, Lieutenant Mike Pucci is awarded the Meritorious Service Award. Nicely done, Mike. If I could please have Battalion Chief Ben Bradford and Firefighter Chu Yang. A few years ago, we had an award that was created in honor of retired Fire Chief Mike Morin, who was known for going above and beyond for any resident in Bloomfield Township. He would do things on weekends, his days off, things like that for anybody that needed anything. And an award was created by then Supervisor Leo Savoy in his honor, with a monetary award with it. It's kind of a rare instance, but firefighters in Bloomfield Township have always gone above and beyond. Battalion Chief Ben Bradford and firefighter Chu Yang, while off duty, went to a homeowner's house after finding a tree that had fallen on their driveway. The tree had apparently been there for some time. The homeowner did not have any financial means to clean up the tree and was suffering from chronic medical conditions. Battalion Chief Bradford and firefighter Yang took it upon themselves to cut up and remove the tree for the homeowner. Thank you to Battalion Chief Bradford and firefighter Yang for going above and beyond to help this resident. For their actions, these two individuals are awarded the Mike Moore Eye Care Award. And our last award of the evening is a ceremonial award. It's a badge of honor in the Bloomfield Township Fire Department, and it goes to the firefighter that goes on the most incidents over the course of a year. The Iron Man was given, with 631 incidents, the winner of the Bloomfield Township Ironman Award for this year is firefighter paramedic Joseph Evangelista. I'd like to thank everybody for allowing us to come here tonight and present these awards and honor the individuals in this room that go above and beyond every day.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
I know the Board of Trustees would like to thank the firemen and women who support and protect our community. You do a great job. We're very proud of you. And Yang only got 3 awards. I don't know about the rest of you, but congratulations, and congratulations to all of you, and thank you. Okay, item number 4, Police Department introductions presented by our Chief Gallagher. I saw Jimmy here. Is he nearby?
He's there. We're going to switch out. He's in the hallway. He'll come in a second.
Oh, once we, Fire Marshal.
Take a little break. Yeah. Just want to take a little break.
I'm sitting here going, should I say, am I supposed to say something? I messaged Bob. I said, he thought I forgot this at home. I was like, he said, you forgot that you're here now.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes, I kept thinking it's going to be the next one.
No, he's got 3 new officers. Thank you.
That was one of the most full houses I've ever seen.
Firemen always bring it up. They win the chili cook-off every year because they come in droves. Yeah, got it. I think I just let it go. I think I let it go. Right. It was, thank you though for that.
I waited till they were clapping.
Yeah. The gal that got up there, they did provide.
My career is getting better saving. And they did say, they seriously said, I mean, the surgeon told me half the people in the military are alive. That was exactly super in 2 years. And then a lot of those people don't make it.
See you, David.
Issue. I did too. Yeah, no, I did see that he was, because I talked to John. He was choosing.
Nice.
My guys is getting, my savings.
Always a good thing.
Yeah, nice.
One of the highlights of the year.
It is, yeah, every year. They get the crowd, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And one guy had 631 runs. That's
I know.
amazing.
Yeah, well, Martin thought that maybe my crew was getting a life-saving award. He got me all nervous because I hadn't heard that. He goes, well, this is, you're on the docket. I go, I am. So every time John went to the next one, I was like,
Am I up? Am I up?
Is this me? Is this me? Is this me? Because I was like, yeah.
Well-
Okay, you ready, Jimmy?
They did save me.
I think our officers are trying to get in.
Working their way through. Okay.
Here they come.
Here they.
Everything good?
Comes Team A.
Just a bad night for it to be.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready to reconvene?
We are ready, I believe.
Okay, Chief, you're here to Police Department to present our new officers. So
Yeah, here we go
floor is
again.
yours.
We're continuing to have the youth movement.
But I gotta tell you, your crowd's a lot less than fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, because we don't, they gave an award to everybody. I feel like it was an attendance award. They do great work. We already had that conversation. That's fun messing with the chief. I appreciate him staying.
Okay.
Welcome. Robel, come on up. So we're badge 366, and I think I've said it before, our badge numbers are in sequential order. So 235 or 135 away from me, which is crazy. Robel began his career with us on Monday, October 20th, after successfully completing the 132nd session of the Oakland Police Academy. Robel grew up in California, and he graduated from Concordia University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He's currently working on his master's degree from Southern University in counterterrorism and criminal justice. He spent nearly 5 years in the United States Army, where he served as a military police officer. Some of his achievements there include graduating from military police school, basic airborne school, unit prevention leader, master fitness trainer, if you can tell, military police investigator school. So he comes with a lot of experience to Bloomfield Township, and he's beneficial to us, especially with all the young officers we've hired recently. His experience is going to be really valuable to us. He is married to his wife, Cassidy, and they have 2 children currently. And while he was in the academy, they're expecting a third. So as long as we make his wife say that Michigan's a whole lot better than California, he's going to be staying here for a long time. So welcome, Robel. Yep. Mr. Bashar, come on up. Bashar Khalid, badge 367. He began his career also on October 20th, and all 3 of them attended the 132nd session of the Oakland Police Academy. Bashar grew up in Iraq and moved into the United States when he was a young boy. I think he said 2009, if I'm correct. His family settled in Sterling Heights, Michigan, and he graduated from Sterling Heights High School. After high school, he attended Oakland University, where he got his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. His previous experience includes asset protection or loss prevention officer with Neiman Marcus. He did an internship with Oakland County at the 6th Circuit Court in the juvenile probation area. And then he also did his internship with Madison Heights Police Department. And I can tell you that when we did his background, there was some not happy people at Madison Heights that he didn't end up there. So that's a credit to you, especially when we talk about internships. It's very important that you make a name for yourself and be a great example. And I think it was a deputy chief who told us he was really disappointed that he didn't come to Madison Heights. So he currently lives with his parents, Zena and I don't know how to say it, well, and so we welcome him also to our department. Now for our athlete out of the crew, right? All right. Isabella Brent, badge number 368. She again started October 20th at graduating the 132nd session of the Oakland Police Academy. Our township supervisor was there for the first little while with us, so we're just hiding out in the crowd. Isabella grew up in Dearborn and was an avid figure skater. She told us all about her figure skating competitions and her lack of not being able to get dizzy. She graduated from Divine Child Catholic High School. After high school, she attended Eastern Michigan University, where she graduated with her bachelor's degree in criminal justice. At Eastern Michigan, she was on the track and field team. Were you the captain? She's the captain, where she was through the hammer, as she told us. She ranks in the top 10 all-time in throwing distance in the Mid-American Conference at EMU. So I challenge all of our guys. We're going to have we have to have like a track and field day. Isabella's previous work experience includes working at Costco Wholesale as a merchandiser, security at United Wholesale Mortgage, where she still has a good relationship with some of the former officers that we know very well over there, who speak very highly of her. Hostess at Ford's Garage. Hopefully she'll invite us back to Ford's Garage. She currently lives with her parents, Shane and Evelina. All right, and we also welcome you to the department. Stay tuned for next month.
Nice,
No,
Jimmy.
December.
Nice, Jimmy.
So, thanks.
That gets our force pretty almost full. That's a great move, considering last year we were, down 13? That's wonderful work, and congratulations and welcome to Bloomfield Township. Thank you. Okay, item number 5, public hearing, consider approval of lot split request for 7466 Wing Lake Road, presented by Andrea Bibby, our Director of Planning, Building, Ordinance. Welcome, Andrea.
Hi, good evening. I think I end up on this agenda every year, and I always enjoy it. I think it's really cool to be able to see.
You're on like almost every agenda.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. You would pop up the PowerPoint if you wouldn't mind.
But you're right, awards night
It
is
is.
the best.
That is definitely not mine. Looks lovely. No. I don't know if I should touch anything. Thank you. Okay, good evening, board. Thank you very much for having me tonight. Andrea Bibby from the Director of Planning, Building, and Ordinance. Tonight I am presenting, we have a public hearing set for a consideration of a lot split at 7466 Wing Lake Road. We do have the applicant and property owner here with us, Mr. David Carlton is here in the audience as well, if you have any specific questions. So the request before you is specific to the property located at 7466 Wing Lake Road. You can see it highlighted on the screen in its current configuration, zoned in an R3 single-family residential zoning classification. The applicant is seeking approval to subdivide the respective parcel to result in 3 configured residential lots. The subject lot, which is north of 14 Mile Road and west of Wing Lake Road. The subject parcel is currently 5.15 acres. It has frontage on both 14 Mile and Wing Lake Road. The existing home at 7466 Wing Lake Road was built in 2023. And you will see as part of the proposal and the request would be that house is to remain in its current location. The parent parcel, as I stated, was originally platted. One thing I want to point out, which is very similar to another lot split we did recently, this is a survey and a sealed survey, as I cut it off when I added it to the screen, but this is a sealed survey that has been provided showing the current configuration of this parcel. I do want to note that 7466 Wing Lake Road was originally platted to contain the 60-foot wide public right-of-way on both 14 Mile and Wing Lake Road, and you can see the lines, the survey lines around the exterior of the property along Wing Lake and both 14 Mile, which indicate the location of that existing a right-of-way. So for the sake of that, I do want to note that right-of-way area was subtracted from the land area, and each resultant lot, this will show the configuration of the proposal. So you can see the existing parcel A where the resident currently exists. And when we look at a lot split, we want to confirm that any changes do not render that existing home non-conforming. So the applicant has demonstrated on their survey they do comply with the provisions of that R3 zoning district even after the property would be subdivided as shown. I do want to note that within the R3 zoning district, parcels are required to be 22,000 square feet. And I do want to note that each of these resultant parcels meet that requirement. Parcel A, which has the house on it, results in a 46,100 square foot parcel. Parcel B, which you can see highlighted on the bottom left of that survey, is proposed to be, parcel B is 46,193. And then parcel C, which is also located on the bottom right of that survey, results in a 36,463 square foot. So well over the required 22,000 square foot within the R3 zoning district. I also want to note that all properties do exceed the required front, the lot width of a minimum of 130 feet with sewer within the R3. We did have this reviewed by our engineering and environmental services, noting that a sanitary sewer exists for 7466 Wing Lake, and it is currently available for the split parcels. And I do want to note that any future construction on those, if this lot split does go through, they would be required to connect to the required water and sewer. So I just want to note that they do all meet, all parcels exceed the required 130-foot minimum lot width, with 228 feet along Wing Lake Road for parcel A and 235 feet along 14 Mile Road for parcel B, as well as 194 feet along West Maple Road and 213 feet along Wing Lake Road for parcel C. So what I'm demonstrating and what I've just presented is that the requested lot split, that the resultant parcels minus the existing right-of-way that was platted still comply with the minimum within that zoning classification. And then also within your staff report, we have provided the lots that are within 500 feet. In which we do an analysis to determine that the resultant parcels meet the minimum land area and lot width of all those parcels within 100 feet. I do want to note that the total land area that was determined to be required based on doing this analysis. Also within your packet, there is an example of the parcels that were taken under consideration. I do want to note that the parcels immediately south of the proposed lot would not be included, as they do not fall within Bloomfield Township. So we are looking at the parcels that are on the other side of Wing Lake, as well as those sites that are to the north and to the west of the parcel. I do want to note that average came out to be a minimum of 45,362 square feet once we take under consideration all the parcels. And I do want to note that each one of the resultant parcels come in over the minimum lot area, thus making it compliant with the provisions of our ordinance. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. I do want to note that the parcels were reviewed by our various departments, including our township treasurer, engineering and environmental services, and do note that they do request approval for the lot split. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. And we also have, as I stated, Mr. Carlson, the property owner, here in the office.
Thank you, Andrea.
Audience.
So I'll open up for public comment. It's a public hearing, so we'll open up for a public hearing. If you're here to comment on the lot split at 7466 Wing Lake Road, now's your time to come up to the podium, and you'll be heard. You have 3 minutes. I don't see anybody coming up, so we'll close public hearing and open up to the board for any questions or comments. And if the applicant would like to come up and answer any questions, introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Good evening. My name is David Carlton. My wife and I have raised 3 kids here and lived in Bloomfield Township for 22 years. We liked the township so much that as we became close to being empty nesters, wanted to build a new house, we didn't leave the township. So we love the area, we love everything that's going on here. I will admit, I walked in right at 6:30 before this hearing, thinking it would be a simple hearing to about a dozen armed officers. And I thought, damn, we're taking this one really seriously. Thankfully, it's great to hear so many accolades for the fire department and police department. Really simple lot split, in my opinion. Andrea and her team have done everything required. So if there are any questions, otherwise I'll.
Okay, any questions from the board for the applicant or for Andrea?
Not a question, I want to just a point of clarification.
Yeah.
So when again, I got an email on this, so
Sure.
I just want to go over.
Sure.
When you were talking about the areas, you were actually talking about the buildable areas, meaning for parcel B, 46,000 square feet was the usable area, taking into account those easements.
Okay, so I actually have a correction because I'm looking at the survey. Parcel C comes out to be 60,311. And I have it noted on the report that it's 36, so that is incorrect. So to answer your question, you're asking me if repeat the question again?
So I actually wasn't going to ask you a question. I was
Okay.
just clarifying it.
Yes.
That parcel B and C are both over 60,000 square feet. Like you said, meeting that requirement.
Correct.
Being over that amount of land area.
Correct.
So what you put in the staff report is the usable area, making sure that you still can build a home and there's still plenty of area to build. And it still
Correct.
meets all of our ordinances and setbacks.
Correct.
So again, I appreciate you giving it both ways.
Yes.
Just some people were confused on that.
Understood.
And again, it meets completely everything.
Yeah.
And it meets all of our ordinances.
Yeah.
And is completely within that ordinance and law.
Very good, thank you. That was a very keen eye, so I appreciate that. But no, absolutely, you're correct. Thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that they're generous size. They aren't the minimum, and they fit with the area. I think that's really important because, I mean, I've lived here since the 80s. We love it here. I don't want to see everything get sliced and diced up, but you made nice sized lots, and that's wonderful. You want to stay in the township.
Yeah, you're stuck with us. And I also wanted to say, we didn't want 12 other houses on this property.
Sure.
So it will be preserved in its entirety.
I'm ready to make a motion unless there's any other comments.
I've got one question.
Sure.
On the parcel C, are they allowed to enter from Wing Lake?
We do not determine curb cuts. That would be something that they would have to get approval from Oakland County Road Commission at the time that they decide the configuration. They can decide how they want their property accessed. So we don't determine through the lot split the location of a driveway.
And it seems that the parcel is laid out where the front of the home is facing 14 Mile.
It has two front setbacks.
Correct.
So it'll require one off of both Wing Lake and 14 Mile. So
I'm thinking about the back setback,
the back
the rear setback.
this is a side yard setback. Oh, you're saying there should be two rear?
Yeah, so, but I think the overall buildable area is
Yes.
still over 22.
Yeah.
But
Even
if-
with you at the 40.
Yeah, yeah.
Good question. So to answer your question, there's always going to be the two 40-foot front yard setbacks. There will be a determination at the time in terms of the layout, in terms of what's considered side and rear. It's not uncommon on corner lots that we have two front yards and then maybe you'll have one side and one rear. So you're right, they meet the land area, which is the most important part, but you're right in terms of actual configuration, there could be a slight modification. Yeah.
Neil?
No, I'm ready to make a motion. Certainly meets all the criteria for our lot split. It's in compliant with our zoning. So I'd like to just make a motion that we approve as presented.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yep, good luck, Dave. Okay, item number 6, public hearing on 2026 Community Development Block Grant presented by Christine Tvaroha, our Director of Senior Service. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. Oh, thank you. All right. Oh, it's not connected. Oh, great.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, boom, we got it. Okay, thank you, Amber, very much. Okay, so Oakland County Neighborhood and Housing Development unveiled changes to the block grant program this year, and I'll get right into why is it changing. HUD and the county's Citizen Advisory Committee, as well as the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, would like funds invested in more visible, high-impact, and transformative community projects. The new process will allow smaller communities to complete larger projects for public facilities. Each community will have more flexibility when it comes to block grant funding. It is believed that it will reduce administrative burden on communities, and I'm very hopeful that's the case. It also is believed that it will ensure timely spending of grant funds. So the allocation this year will now be hybrid in terms of applications. It will be formula-based for public services activities like our Meals on Wheels program, and that is traditional, so that models exactly what we're used to. But the public facilities aspect and all other eligible activities that include home improvements will be a competitive proposal process. So senior services, we currently have $53,000 remaining from last year's minor home repair allocation. So we chose not to apply for this year for additional funding for that until it's expended or close to being expended. And frankly, they would not have awarded it to us anyway because they will go and check for every community's balances. So very fair, I think. Let's see, however, the Meals on Wheels, the block grant is very, very important though to Meals on Wheels. And Meals on Wheels means seniors with mobility challenges receive nutritionally balanced meals, a safety check, and social connection with a friendly volunteer. So this year's estimated allocation, which they gave us, is $7,500, but I am requesting $14,000 from them in case other communities don't choose to receive public services funds, which I think might happen. So I don't know that we would be allocated more, but I'm really hopeful. There we go. Oh, the 14,002, I'd like to note, matches what we received in 2023, but then in 2024, they changed the cap for public services and cut everybody down to 7,000. So we actually really need 14,000 for our program. So there's a lot going on there, and I'm hopeful that that might work out in our favor. The eligibility for for Meals on Wheels is that someone is 62 years of age or more and they have mobility problems. Or they might have considerable difficulty with driving, grocery shopping, or preparing meals independently and regularly. Caregivers of people in these situations are also included in the program. It can be a short-term need. Maybe some customers we see are utilizing it for a 6 or 8 week time period after they've had a health crisis or a surgery, something of that nature. Hot meals are available Monday through Friday. Customers may schedule 2 or 3 or all 5 days, whatever is most convenient for them, or they can ask for a frozen pack to be delivered to their home on Mondays. Again, trying to fit into their schedule in the best way possible. The meal service is a key element of the social and safety network for frail and isolated seniors and their caregivers. As needed, we exercise our emergency protocol for wellness checks and occasionally EMS intervention. That's why we know some of these guys and girls, women. This past year we served over 7,000 meals to 95 customers, of which 81 were new to the service. 54% of them were 85 plus, and as always, our friendly volunteers are the favorite aspect of the service. Our newer on-the-go meals has tripled with some very appreciative regulars. It's been very helpful for them too in periods of difficulty. So some do it year round and some are just temporary. So a frozen on-the-go meal is available for residents who are age 62 or more and who place orders in advance and pick them up at the center. As I may have said, growth is 45% over last year, which actually tripled the year before. So that's trending very high. So we're kind of excited for that. Our nutrition coordinator, Mary Osborne, came up with that program maybe about 3-4 years ago. Let's see. You can see all of the programs or all of the stats are rising, which is really great. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, we'll open up for a public hearing.
Mhm.
And if there's anybody here to comment on the program for the senior services, now's your time to come up to the microphone. Looks like there will be no public comment tonight, so we'll close public comment, open up to the board for any questions or comments to Christine. Christine, this is a wonderful program. Congratulations. You can tell your heart and soul are really into this, and
Yeah.
I'm sure the seniors that take advantage of this that really need it it's life-saving.
We have a great team that does it too.
Yeah,
And they all
you sure
have a
do.
heart for
You have a great team,
service.
is right.
We do.
And Mike, you've been passionate about this from the day the program started, and since you've been the director. Thank you for everything that you do with your staff. And certainly, unfortunately, with the way things are going, it's needed more than ever. And hopefully, you'll be able to get additional funds on Meals for Wheels on wheels because it's needed. Yeah.
So do you want to make the motion, Neil?
I've got one question.
Sure.
You had mentioned that the other grant you typically apply for, our fund balance is too high. Right, as of right now.
Not too high, just we have funds available to still serve people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you apply for that at any time of the year?
No, there is a prescribed cycle.
Okay,
Yes, every
Okay.
fall.
okay.
Make a motion that we approve the grant, the application and the presentation as presented.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Thank you, Christine.
May I make 2 announcements, public service announcements?
Sure.
One, just to remember, for the public, we are still doing minor home repair. We have funds available. We still want to help people, so that's really important. And the other thing is people from within Bloomfield Township of any age can apply to the county for a $23,000 home improvement loan. It's not something we facilitate, but because we're part of the block grant program, that opens it up for all citizens. So that's another
And you can
important
help them
program.
find that
We-
contact as they contact the senior center.
We can.
Wonderful. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for that.
Thank you
Great
all.
programs.
Yes.
And
Okay.
just call direct to the
Yeah.
senior center? Okay, and they can ask about the repairs?
Yeah.
Okay,
The loan program, the repairs, or meals.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
all.
thank you. Item number 7, consider acceptance of the UHY financial report with supplementary information presented by Michael Sanchia and Amber Sutter from UHY. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. So we're here to present the March 25 year-end audit as filed with the state. I'm Mike Santicha, along with Amber. So the following so we're going to do a PowerPoint presentation, just going over some of the highlights of the audit. You all have in the package the audited financial statements. So we'll represent the overall government activities, business type activities of Bloomfield Township. Specific fund presentation slides detail certain but not all the funds. As noted in the slide titled Independent Auditors Report, the audit of the township includes the governmental activities, the business type activities, aggregate discretely presented component unit, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of Bloomfield Township. So these are the funds that we have. The highlighted ones are the major funds as part of the audit. Auditing standards require that we do communicate certain items to you. Here's our independent auditor's report. We issued an unmodified opinion overall, which is the highest opinion that we can issue. Again, there's accounting standards and certain responsibilities on the plan, scope, and timing. We dated that in our engagement letter to you. The accounting policies, which you'll find in note 1, are the townships to make. As part of our audit, we make sure you're following those policies. And there was one new policy that was adopted this past year, GASB 101, on compensated absences, but it had no effect on your financial statements this year. Same with accounting estimates.
Management makes those estimates. Again, as part of our audit, we make sure they're reasonable, and they were. There were no significant audit adjustments. We did have one past audit adjustment on the retiree healthcare fund in the amount of $26,000 because they used it as of December of 24 and didn't bring it forward to March 25, so it was immaterial to the presentation. No disagreements with Township's management over the course of the audit. To our knowledge, there was no consultations with any other accountants. There were no issues discussed prior to our engagement. No difficulties encountered with management. They're very prepared and cooperative. We'd like to thank Jason and his team. He got us everything timely. We asked a question, he followed up quickly, so that's a good sign for us that everything is there. Other things, we did conduct fraud interviews with management and a board trustee. No instances of fraud were reported to us. The items tested as part of the audit had sufficient appropriate audit support and documentation, and more importantly, approval of that. So that's very important. As part of our audit, we did test a sample of expense reimbursements. All of them had sufficient and appropriate audit support, including the documentation and approval. Same with credit card statements. We tested a sample of those, and they did have sufficient and appropriate audit support, which indeed included documentation and approval. There were no expenditures in excess of required budgeted amounts. The township was awarded $4.4 million in ARPA funds that had been received by March of 25. As of March 31st, 25, $1.3 million was already spent. Significant capital purchases during the year were safety equipment, the fire truck, safety path construction, and improvements to the water and sewer infrastructure. Now, Amber will go over some of the numbers.
So this slide up here just kind of highlights the pension benefits and our funding status. So as you can see, we dipped down a little bit and very comparable to the prior year with 87.4% of our pension is funded. We scroll to the next. Our OPEB, you can see that there's an uptick. So we're at 29.8% this year, which is up from 26.3% funded on the prior year. So that's good. We're seeing that uptick there. Looking at our general fund assets, this is a comparison of 25 to March of 2024. Most of the numbers here are pretty comparable to the prior year. One of the largest jumps being just our lease receivable, which went from $2.5 million down to $1.7 million this year. And that's really because of our Court, Verizon, and AT&T leases that we have in the books that decreased due to the amortization around that, which is our GASB 87. Our general fund liabilities here, most of these items are pretty comparable to the prior year. Nothing significant really to point out or note. Our general fund revenues, you can kind of see the summary there. Pretty much most are very comparable year over year. The biggest fluctuation really is in that other, where we went from 1.8 million down to 1 million, which related to our cable fees that moved to the cable fund in 2025. General fund expenditures totaled 12.5 for the year, which was comparable to 13 million in the prior year. The biggest fluctuation you're going to see there is with capital outlay that went from 1.9 million down to 336,000 this year. And that really was in the prior year we had public safety purchases that took place. Our public safety assets, pretty comparable year over year when we're looking at everything. The biggest difference really changed with that fire grant that we had in our prepaid item. So you'll see that 500,000 goes down to zero in the current year. For our liabilities, really the biggest fluctuation that we had was just with our accounts payable. We went from 1.3 million down to 1.1 million, and that's just really due to timing of receipts and payments. Public safety revenues. Overall, it's up a little bit from the prior year related to our taxes just because of the CPI. Along with our grants, we had some new grants this year, which brought in revenues from $213,000 in the prior year up to $1.1 million in the current year. Public safety expenditures were very comparable year over year at $33 million. So nothing substantial to note there. Our water and sewer fund assets, the biggest fluctuations that we see here really relate to the receivables under customers. We had a lot of new special assessments that went into effect this year, which really brought that number from 6.6 million up to 11.6. One other item you'll note that changed significantly from the prior year is with our inventory. We had 1.9 million in the prior year, and it's up to 3.6, and that relates just to the new meters for the meter program that was in place this year. Moving to the liabilities, the biggest fluctuation you'll see again here relates to the special assessments that were new this year under unearned revenue. You'll see that number jumped from 374,000 up to 4.5 million. Going down a little bit further, you'll see the debt that increased from 23 million to 26 million due to the new debt that we had this year. Moving to the revenues for the water and sewer fund, pretty comparable. Again, the main reason that we have a little bit of an increase is relating to on that other line where revenues went from 260,000 to 1.3 million, which is related to the special assessment revenue that we had there as well. You'll also see the water sales and the sewer usage went up a little bit, which is just due to the board approved rate changes that went into effect this year. For the water and sewer expenditures, we had more expenditures this year. It's up from $25 million to $29 million, which really relates to the expenses related to the new special assessments. Also, other, we went from 230,000 to 884,000, which relates to the new contract for meter labor that we had, which was $621,000. Does anyone have any questions about the financial statements or anything that we went over?
Does that complete your overview?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Any comments or questions from the board? Trustees?
I do have some questions. On the OPEB,
Yes.
we have about $4 million in overfunded liabilities in our sub-accounts, 3 sub-accounts, the water and sewer, cable studio, and building inspection, yet there's no mention of that anywhere in the audit. And that having that overpayment, I don't think it's appropriate. And I'd like to understand why that is not commented on in the audit.
So I think we look at the pension and the OPEB as a whole. So that whole, everything is really allocated to each of the specific funds. So when we look at everything, it's at the whole, and we're still, what was the number for pension? I think we were 29% funded. So it's not looked at as an individual basis because those numbers are allocated amongst all of the different funds.
So we don't have any overpayments in any specific department because you got to
Correct.
look at it overall. So like the one we're 87% funded, one is at 29%. So you are ahead of the game on the funding at 87%. I can tell you most cities and municipalities do not have much funded in OPEB, so you guys are ahead of that. But we have to look at it because we get an actuarial evaluation of what the whole fund is. So it's not by department, it's just overall, and then there's an allocation.
There's a breakdown in the back of the allocation, and it does give the balances of those different funds. And it shows 4 million extra. That 4 million is over 5% increase on the liabilities. And when water and sewer is a big part of it, I don't think it's appropriate to give the perception that water and sewer rates can be raised to meet OPEB obligations for the general fund or the road fund. And I believe that keeping that out or not mentioning that when it is called out in the report, in the report from Milliman, it's a little bit disingenuous to our residents as the true nature of what we owe.
Mark, I don't think you can say that. That's really a, maybe your own personal opinion, but this is a professional firm that gives us an overview and gave us sterling remarks, and S&P gave us a AAA rating. And I think you're picking apart things as you want to see it, but not necessarily how it's reported and how it's reviewed by UHY.
And well, again, that's fine, but if we continue to pay in for water and sewer like we did last year, including an extra $50,000, that means our water and sewer rates are higher than they need to be. And
again, I think you're expressing an opinion that we may not all share with you.
And policy issues.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, it's not really what we're referring to with this overview from UHY.
Okay. And then I do have a question on the investment income being consolidated in the general fund. I was looking at other townships in Oakland County. I couldn't find anyone else that was doing that, and why. I want to understand from your standpoint why that's appropriate.
I think really just an investment income allocation really is a matter of policy. And that's really, outside of the scope of what we've done here and what we're auditing. And it really is a decision that you guys come to with management and legal counsel.
Okay. And lastly, if those, on the central services fees, I believe there is an appropriateness on the central services fees, but what I find unusual is it doesn't appear that there's an allocation towards the townships collecting the investment income. None of that is being applied to those central services fees as an expense to cover some of those expenses, even though the water and sewer funds should be used to benefit water and sewer, or building inspection to benefit building inspection. I understand that it is a policy of the township, but again, it's more of, is it appropriate as auditors for us to be having those enterprise funds, that investment income going someplace else?
I don't know if you could even comment on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I
That's a
understand
practice
the
that we work with, yeah.
It's not out of the ordinary, but it's a practice of what we're promising you guys.
Okay. And can you what other communities do that in the area? Are you aware of any?
No, I wouldn't know off the top of my head either.
Okay. And why would the township be able to follow a general township accounting requirement even though we're a charter township? Because that's what our attorneys have advised. So
maybe that's a question that, would you like to comment on that?
Sure, that's a legal question. We have provided that information to you previously, but in
I'm
the
asking
absence.
They're not attorneys, Mark.
Right.
Our attorney's right here.
And in the absence of a provision in the Charter Township Act that is on point, we are governed by the General Township Act, as we've told you previously.
you mean that we're governed by the Charter Township Act?
We're governed by both. In the absence of a contradictory provision in the Charter Township Act, we are governed by the General Township Act.
Yeah, and Dirk spoke about that, remember, and do you want to comment on that? I don't think that's really in your.
It's not
in your
appropriate.
purview for your overview of our financial situation. Okay. Yeah, and you did a great job.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Chris?
Yeah, again, thank you guys so much. You guys are got a great reputation. You do this for multiple municipalities in the area. You guys are kind of the go-to in this area for it. So when you guys give us a stellar review, we know it's at the highest level. So again, I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate our finance department because, again, like you said, this is the highest level you guys can give us. So clearly what we're doing here is right and is working. And again, you guys are looking at what our policies are, what we dictate as a board, and it matches our financials. So again, thank you guys for your time, and thank you guys for being making sure that we do the right thing with the money that we're in charge of.
I agree. And if there were issues, I know, because I've been listening to you guys for years and years and years. And if there were issues, you would certainly be letting management know, you would be letting the board know, and you would not allow us to do anything that was fraudulent or even came into the gray area. So thank you very much for signing off on all the great work that Jason and his department and the rest of the administrative staff do.
Thank you.
Okay, and saying, having said that,
Make a motion that we accept the audit as presented.
Support.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Number 8, consider entering closed session pursuant to MCL 15.268 for the purpose of strategy negotiation connected with negotiations of collecting bargaining agreements presented by Michael Shostak, our township treasurer.
Yes, what he said.
Okay.
I make a motion that we move into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.268, sub 1C.
Support.
And we'll take a roll call vote.
Oh, yes. Trustee Antockley?
Yes.
Trustee Kalinsky?
Yes.
Trustee Barnett?
Yes.
Trustee Murray?
Yes.
I'm yes as well. Treasurer Shostak?
Yes.
Supervisor McCready?
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Okay, we'll move into closed session and return after. Thank you. Welcome back.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
Okay.
Support.
So, to motion to amend the agenda to add consideration of the collective bargaining agreement with the firefighters.
Support. Support. Any comments?
This is to amend the agenda.
Just amend
To amend the agenda.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
And in keeping with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement with the IAFF Local 3045 with a term of April 1, 2025 to March 31st, 2028, subject to final legal review.
Support.
Support, and then I think we might have a comment. Mark?
Yes, I'm not opposed to what's in the agreement. What I would like to understand, though, is in relation to audit and our own internal funding policies. On page 21 of the audit, it states that the townships has to maintain a balance in the general fund, including transfers in and out. And in December, we are short funded because of the draw on public safety. The transfers out from the general fund are not recorded. And we have no idea what the general fund balance is actually at the time. So without that information, especially with the last year's negative 26 million fund balance, you take out the 14 million public safety starts with. That means 12 million has to come out of the general fund in December, and that would drop us below that 50% threshold, according to what's in the audit. So, again, I'd like to understand how we can approve this with that policy in place.
I have a feeling our treasurer, Michael Shostak, may want to comment.
Okay, so in reading page 21, it says that the fund balance policy is to maintain unrestricted fund balance equivalent to 50 to 75% of annual expenditures and transfers out. Fund balance is an accounting measure that's calculated once per year at fiscal year end. And so the goal is to keep at fiscal year end between 50 and 75% of annual expenditures and transfers out. The next sentence says, as of the fiscal year end, this fund has unrestricted fund balance equivalent to 57.2% of annual expenditures and transfers, 57.2% falling between 50 and 75%. So I think that Trustee Antockley's question is really related more towards a cash management issue and not an affordability issue. Our annual budget addresses the affordability issue, and we have no problem budgeting for our public safety every year. But I think that would be my response to that.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
So the this calculation is of a specific day and time and fluctuates greatly. That's depending on the time of year it's calculated. So that statement appears to mean that it can be calculated at any time.
Yeah, but the policy is as of the fiscal year end.
And it says right there, as the end of the
So,
fiscal year, the fund.
Yes,
unrestricted
it
balance
can
is 57.
fluctuate greatly depending on the specific date and time. As you know, we collect all of our property taxes from December 1st until February 28th of each fiscal year. And so at that period, so if you look at March 1st, or actually, so at March 1st, and then by the time we collect our taxes from the county, who makes us whole at settlement, which is done in March, so that by April 1st, when we begin the new fiscal year, we are at our high water mark.
Yeah, we're flush.
And so, and then we draw down throughout the year. But the goal, where the policy set, you can't set a policy to say that there's always a floor. You've got to set a policy that says as of the date of time, and when that policy was set, it was set for the end of the fiscal year, or the beginning of the fiscal year. It's the same thing, right? It's either March 31st or April 1st, depending on which way you look at it.
So you're saying that the specific day and time relates to the one time of the year where it's a requirement?
Yeah, I'm saying that when you set, when that policy was set, it was set that the number would be at the end of the fiscal year, which is based on how we budget. We budget to make sure that we have that amount in our fund balance, so that we're not spending down our fund balance every year. Because if we decide to budget more and spend more than we take in, then we're eating into our fund balance, which would lower it. And if we go below that threshold of 50%, then we would not be in compliance with our policy. But our policy is to make sure that we're between 50 and 75% at the end of each fiscal year, to make sure that we have a nest egg. That's not the right terminology. We have a rainy day fund, that in case, some major catastrophe were to come, we'd have the available resources to deal with it. And so that's why we want 50% of our annual expenses to be in reserve. That's what it is. It's our reserves. And so that way, if we have a major year where, or we have a tremendous drop in real estate values, and all of a sudden our property taxes are half of what they, were the year before, which would be catastrophic, we would still have enough in reserves to be able to weather that. So
Thank you, Michael. I think you've explained it very well. Any
Extremely.
further comment or question?
No,
If
ready to
not, we
take a
have
vote.
Vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Thank you. All right, so let's go back now to the items taken off consent agenda, which will start with item number C. Approve the December 1, 2025 millage rate for Bloomfield Village Police and Volunteer Fire Service for fiscal year April 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2026. Mark, you had a comment or question on that?
Yeah, but since this is a tax issue, I prefer the actual item be read off and approved, if that's okay.
Sure, okay.
I make a motion we approve. as
Support?
presented.
Support?
What's the dollar value of the millage?
It's $600,000 for police and $160,000 for fire.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Okay, item number D, accept treasurer's quarterly report. Mark, you had a comment on that?
Yes, I would prefer to see the fund balances in it. I know that's not the policy, but for the township, but I think it's important to see those fund balances.
Make a motion, we accept the
Can I
quarterly
respond
report.
before we do that?
Yeah.
Sure.
So fund balances are an accounting construct. This report is for cash and investments. It has nothing to do with accounting. So putting fund balances on this report would be frankly inappropriate.
Right. It just shows our investments.
Right.
Yeah, this is just cash and investments. It has nothing to do with accounting.
Right, very clear. I make the motion, we accept it.
It consolidates the enterprise fund money.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I don't think that's appropriate, so.
All in
Well,
favor?
but that's not fund balances.
All right, so we had a motion and support.
And we had a support.
Support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, 6-1, thank you. And then, Mark, approve payroll, item number E, approve payroll and vouchers for October 29, 2025.
My standing objections with regards to the water and sewer meter changes stay in place, and the quarterly reports and what's in the quarterly reports.
Make a motion, we accept.
Gotcha. Support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
6-1, thank you. And item number
I move we adjourn.
9, adjourn.
Oh, you're taking over for Martin?
You did. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Done, we are adjourned, thank you.